Hey guys.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to our channel, I Vlog It.
So today we got a huge announcement from Halloween Horror Nights and they revealed all of the Scarezones, the 2 shows and the remaining houses.
Yeah, there's absolutely tons of stuff to cover off here, so we're going to go through each part of the announcement one by one to let you guys know what you can expect. So the first house that's been announced is Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland. So Cary, Ohio is a huge part of the Halloween Horror Nights lore. It's where a lot of the scare zones and houses have been based. It's kind of a fictional town which is based in Ohio. So the blurb on Halloween Horror Nights pages read, "In Cary, bad things just happen. No one escapes from this small town beset by an endless parade of bloodthirsty creatures and maniacs." That sounds awesome.
I do love all the lore behind Cary, Ohio, so I can only imagine how good this house is going to be. From seeing the facade that was leaked a couple of weeks ago, it looked like it had a lot of promise there. So the next house that's also been announced is the Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkins. Now it looks like for this one that they've created an entirely new character for this house called the Pumpkin Lord. So the Pumpkin Lord featured on the comic book style t-shirt that they brought out last year. I wish I got that t-shirt now.
Yeah, we were speculating for a little while last year if this was going to be based around Nathaniel Crow, but it looks like it's going to be based around a character called the Pumpkin Lord now. Okay, so the next house that's been announced is one that had already kind of been announced last year, and that was Puppet Theatre Captive Audience. We did see a mini walkthrough that was posted on YouTube. I will insert a link for that in the description down below, but basically it was Michael Ao and Greg Nicotero going through this puppet styled house where effectively there's been a puppet show from the early 1900s in San Francisco that's been trapped and they're raring for an audience basically. So yeah, puppets kind of freak me out a little bit. So it should be really, really fun, this one.
First thing I thought when I saw this one, it took me back to Dollhouse of the Damned from 2014. So there's going to be marionettes made up of severed limbs, so I think that'd be quite creepy to walk through. And I like the idea. It says if you make it through and you survive, then you become one of the skeletons in the audience rotting away.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. It's one of the more out there concepts, but I think it should pay off for them.
So the next house that's been announced is Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. So this is one that was opened last year during HHN Light. So this house is going off that children give their teeth to the Tooth Fairy and going on a really twisted, sinister take on that. And basically if they don't give up the teeth, then they're going to pay a terrible price. So we have seen a walkthrough from last year, and if I find a video I will put the link down below so you can see it too. And because it was from last year, it will have plexiglass in it. So
the last house that Halloween Horror Nights have announced is Case Files Unearthed, Legendary Truth. Now, we actually did an entire video, well, Laura did an entire video on the Legendary Truth, and we'll link that video in the description down below and up here as well if you want to learn more.
So now we're going to move on to the scare zones that they've just announced. The first one is 30 Years, 30 Fears, and that's the one right at the front of the park. Seen quite a lot of construction going up for this one, and it's basically all the past icons coming back to terrorise us in the scare zone.
So in a part of this scare zone there is a truss with a Halloween Horror Nights sign, and there are actually gas canisters in and around that scare zone as well, so we should get some fire coming out of the top of the truss, which would be really cool to look at. So in the New York section of the park there is going to be a scare zone called Seek and Destroy. A ruthless alien cyber regime led by a being called the Controller have invaded New York, and basically they're going to turn humans into food. It says succumb or be destroyed. Now we've seen some set pieces in and around the New York area on some walkthrough videos, haven't we?
Yeah. Banners that are saying submit to the Controller. There's containers with lots of red liquid in which seems to be blood. I'm guessing that's people who've, what was it, not succumbed.
Yeah, there's tarpaulin as well, which usually means like it's like a dead body being covered up during the day, which is like probably humans having the stuff sucked out of them. So yeah, this should be a really interesting scare zone. A lot of it depends on whether they get the aliens right, because if they do that right, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah. So the next scare zone that's been announced that we're really excited for is Gorewood Forest. So that's going to be the Terra Queen zone, saying that she's returned after 16 years.
So she appeared at Halloween Horror Nights 15 and she said 15 years later she's going to come back, but obviously COVID happened, so 16 years later she's now returned. That's going to be in the Central Park area of Universal Studios. That's always such an atmospheric area of the park, one of my favourite scare zones year in, year out, so should be good.
And the next scare zone that's been announced is Lights, Camera, Haction, Eddie's Revenge. So we are getting an Eddie scare zone this year. So he was meant to be the icon in Horror Nights 11, but they couldn't use him that year because of the events of 9/11. So it's good to see that they're going to give him his own scare zone for this 30th anniversary. The write-up of it made me laugh. It said, "Get ready for the feel-bad movie of the year."
I was just going to say, for those that don't know, this is Jack the Clown's brother in the HHN lore as well.
So this is going to be that Eddie is filming his own horror film and the monsters are real. So we're going to be surrounded by, I don't know, Eddie, as well as other creations and monsters and spooky things.
Should be a good scare zone. Okay, so next scare zone that's been announced is Crypt TV. Now, there's already a ton of props in and around the San Francisco area of the park for this scare zone. We've been watching some shows which I think are hit and miss, but do definitely have really scary kind of, you know, prosthetic creations done through like prosthetic makeup and stuff, which is kind of promising.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a scare zone. They don't need to tell too much of a story with it. It is that in-your-face scare. And I think Crypt TV do good jump scares and that sort of thing. And yeah, the monsters that they've come up with are very frightening. Yeah, so we were looking what sort of props had appeared, what we might need to know. And just in case you haven't seen any of Crypt TV yet, or you're wondering what shorts you should watch to prepare for Halloween Horror Nights, and we'll just go through some of the key ones from the props that we've seen. The first one would be the door in the woods, and also the sequel, The Girl in the Woods as well. So the main antagonist is the Brute, which is released from the door. It's worth a watch, that one. That I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, probably one of my favourites as well. Another one to watch is Itsy Bitsy Spider. You can see, if you watch any HHN construction update as of recent times, you'll see the spiders being drawn on the wall, and that is from Itsy Bitsy Spider. There's also rumoured, because of the spider theme, that there's going to be an appearance by Miss Anity, and Miss Anity is scary. Miss Anity is a really good watch.
This one is a bit more speculative, but I'm thinking the look-see's got to be there. If you haven't seen the look-see, you should watch it. It's very, very creepy. And the reason I'm thinking that's going to be there is, well, one, because surely it's got to be, it's like one of the main faces of Crypt TV, but also from one of the props, they've now set up a bathroom scene, and it does look very similar to a scene in the look-see.
Something which I think would be really cool is if we got a stilt walker with a head of a monster called the Birch. The Birch appears pretty much as soon as you load up the Crypt TV YouTube channel. One of the first videos you'll see is the Birch. And that would just be amazing. That'd be the best stilt walker they've ever done if they do that.
I've heard as well with the Birch, if you are wanting to watch more of that, the full series is on Facebook Watch. So there's just one episode on YouTube and the rest of it's on Facebook Watch. I know that a couple more are rumoured to be there as well. I can't quite make them out from the props that I've seen alone, but people are thinking possibly Mirror Mirror, and Sunny Family Cult is also rumoured to be there. I think that's one of the main longer running series that they've done on Crypt TV.
There are also two shows that have been announced as part of this bulk announcement that Horror Nights have done. One of them is called Halloween Nightmare Fuel. This is probably going to be taking place in the Fear Factor Stadium. A new show is igniting Halloween Horror Nights, featuring fire, pyro and aerial performers.
And the other show that's going to be there this year is the Marathon of Mayhem Carnage Factory. So we're getting another Lagoon show now. I really loved it last year, so I'm excited to see what they'll do with it this year. So that's pretty much everything announced now. We did see on the website though, so where the Jack picture is, there are still 4 empty boxes coming soon, so still wondering what's going to be there. Is it going to be that they're going to announce more icons that are going to be roaming the park? We're still just speculating at this point.
So that's everything covered off for the recent announcement that Halloween Horror Nights did. Let us know in the comments if you're happy about any of the houses, and if you're excited about any of the houses that are going to come. What you want to see from some of the shows or some of the scare zones, yeah, just let us know down below.
I'm also curious to know what your most anticipated house or houses of the year are, so again, just let us know.
Yeah, and with that being said, if you have liked this video, please do feel free to give it a big thumbs up.
And do subscribe to the channel for our future videos as well.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.